Welcome to Episode 90, Spotlight, Authenticator Management, IA-5, where we focus on the complete life of the things people use to prove who they are. Authenticator Management covers how keys, codes, passkeys, tokens, and biometrics are issued, bound to real people, used, stored, rotated, replaced, and finally retired. It is the quiet backbone of trustworthy login because even perfect policy fails if a lost key remains active or a weak secret never changes. The goal is reliability you can explain and repeat under pressure. Think of it as inventory plus process plus proof. Done well, the Authenticator lifecycle shrinks attack paths and turns identity assurance into a steady, predictable practice. Building on that foundation, start with a clear inventory of authenticators by type and owner. List hardware keys, passkeys, authenticator apps, one-time code tokens, passwords for legacy systems, and biometric templates. Then tie each item to a named person or service account. Include status, issuance date, last use, and planned retirement. A small example helps. A team that cannot list all active hardware keys will struggle to revoke one when a badge goes missing. Centralizing this inventory in your identity platform creates one source of truth. Without an inventory, nothing else in this episode can be verified. From there, make issuance depend on identity verification steps that fit the risk. Before handing out a key or enabling a passkey, verify the person with authoritative records or in-person checks for higher-risk roles. Do not rely on a casual email reply or a ticket comment. Imagine an eager new contractor receiving a token by mail without verification. That shortcut creates a false start you may never detect. Document which evidence was reviewed, who approved, and when the authenticator was collected or activated. Strong issuance prevents weak links from entering your environment. It sets the tone. Next, use binding procedures and approver records to attach authenticators to verified identities with precision. Binding means recording the key handle or serial, the directory identity, the approver, and the time of association. Add device details when relevant so later audits can trace a factor to a specific phone or security key. For example, bind key A123 to Jordan Lee, user ID JL0327 with the manager's approval captured in the ticket. If a device is replaced, unbind the old one before adding the new one. Binding creates accountability. It also makes revocation clean. With binding set, require sensible complexity and length for any remaining secrets. For passwords that still exist, set long minimum lengths, encourage passphrases, and forbid guessable patterns tied to names or dates. Avoid frequent forced changes that drive users to weaker choices. Instead, require change on compromise, role change, or risk events. A quick scenario makes this plain. A 12-word passphrase is far more usable and resistant than a short string rotated monthly. Pair length and uniqueness with rate limits and lockouts to blunt guessing. Complexity should help people succeed, not trip them into risky shortcuts. Building on secret strength, define rotation schedules and prevent reuse so old keys and passwords cannot reappear. Rotate hardware tokens when vendors recommend it, change shared recovery codes after incidents, and enforce uniqueness checks that reject the last several choices. For privileged roles, shorten windows. For low-risk legacy systems, move steadily towards stronger factors while you reduce rotation pain. Picture a database admin whose temporary break glass code expires after 1 hour and can never be reused. Schedules provide rhythm without fatigue. Rotation should remove stale power, not create daily busywork. Balance matters. From there, protect token seeds and storage material like crown jewels. Seed values for one-time code tokens, recovery codes, and cryptographic secrets must stay encrypted at rest, limited to a tiny group of custodians, and never emailed or pasted in chat. Split knowledge where possible so no single person can reconstruct a secret alone. For example, store seeds in a hardware security module or a dedicated vault with access logs and just-in-time retrieval. Backups must be encrypted and tested for restoration. Seed sprawl is silent risk. Tight custody keeps math on your side. When keys are lost or stolen, revocation and replacement must be swift and exact. Provide an easy reporting channel, disable the factor immediately, and issue a new one only after re-verifying identity. Link the revocation to the original binding so you retire the right item the first time. Imagine a developer who misplaces a key on a trip. The service desk should revoke within minutes and log the action with a reason, followed with a short post-incident check for unusual logins. Speed here is protection measured in minutes. Move fast, then confirm. At the same time, use biometric methods with clear limits and safe fallback options. Biometrics can verify who you are, but they are not secrets and cannot be changed if copied. Restrict their use to local device unlock or on-device match, where templates never leave trusted hardware. When a biometric fails, fall back to a phishing-resistant factor, not a simple password sent by email. A short example, a face scan unlocks the device, but the login still requires a hardware-backed step. Keep templates protected, fallback strong, and policy clear. Biometrics need boundaries. Building on fallback, design recovery paths that resist social engineering. Require multiple independent proofs, something you have and something you know, or a manager-approved in-person step for high-risk roles. Do not accept urgent phone calls as proof. Urgency is often the attack. Publish the recovery steps so users anticipate what is needed before trouble strikes. For example, store a sealed backup code in a secure vault and require a second approver to release it. Recovery is where attackers push hardest. Make it sturdy, not speedy. From there, align deprovisioning with exits and transfers so authenticators do not outlive trust. When someone leaves or changes roles, revoke bound keys, remove passkeys, wipe authenticator apps, and disable recovery methods at the same time access is removed. Tie these steps to human resources events so timing is automatic. A brief scenario clarifies the payoff. A departing contractor's keys are disabled within minutes of offboarding, and the inventory flips their status to retired. No leftover doors. Clean removal proves control as clearly as clean issuance. Finish what you start. To prove all of this, keep evidence. Tickets, timestamps, and revocation proofs tied to each identity. Preserve issuance records with approvers, binding details with serials or key handles, attestation results for device-based keys, and revocation logs with reasons. Export sampled reports that show factors added, rotated, and removed over time. For example, produce a monthly diff that lists every admin factor change with who approved it. Evidence turns practice into trust. It also speeds audits and supports investigations when questions arise. Write it down. In closing, reliable and secure authenticator stewardship makes strong authentication real every day. IA-5 is the discipline that keeps keys safe, secrets fresh, devices trusted, and recovery honest. When inventory is current, issuance is verified, binding is exact, rotation is sane, and revocation is fast, attacks lose easy paths, and users gain confidence. The cycle is simple. Issue carefully, bind precisely, protect well, recover safely, and retire cleanly. Keep the smallest possible gap between policy and proof. That is how an organization turns identity promises into durable practice. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.